here. We're back. The gang's all here. Another episode of Guys from the Gym.
We did it.
We did it. Amy was just telling us about a story. Go for it.
So when I was a kid, my parents went grocery shopping. Obviously, they went grocery shopping all the time, so they didn't take us children. And they come home, and my parents bought 2 liters of soda. Like, we lived on Pepsi and Dr. Pepper growing up regularly.
Nice.
And so, of course, they get home. We have been out of soda for over a day. And, like, my mom is, like, unloading the groceries, and I grab the 2-liter bottle out of the bag, and I go to open it, and it erupted, and it hit the ceiling.
Whoa.
So this is in reference, Zach just covered himself with a Sprite because it was a little shooken up. So my mom comes in, and the soda is shooting up, and it's hitting the ceiling, and I'm like, oh, I'm in so much trouble. And my mom is pissed because she had to mop the ceiling to clean it. Yeah. I've never seen anything happen like that.
Yeah.
Other than then.
The first day of summer, my 7th, 8th grade year, went on a bike ride, which in my hood, these were gravel roads, and I got in a huge bike wreck. I had like 30 stitches in my leg. Anyway, they gave me one of those.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They gave me one of those giant syringes with no needle to, like, I think to rinse it out. I think
irrigate it?
Yeah. I never used it. Like 6 months later, I found it again.
Yeah.
And I used it to fill with sweet tea.
Oh, God.
This is like, how many cc's is
so
it?
good.
Well, it could be a 30 mil or it could be a 60 mil syringe.
I'm going to go with 30.
If it's this big, it's a 60 mil syringe. If
probably
it's like
less than that. It was that thick, but it was probably 30. It was a good amount.
Oh,
and
so funny.
I filled it with sweet tea, and then I'd go to the living room, watch TV or whatever, and drink from it.
Yeah.
And I got like a little bit left in it, and then at this point I wasn't really thirsty anymore, so I was just kind of like blowing into it, or I was just like playing with it, and I pressurized it somehow and just splattered the ceiling with it.
Whoa.
with probably 2 or 3 ounces.
Wow.
And never told my parents. They probably thought it was black mold because it was just like white ceilings with this like mark up there.
This tea stained.
Yeah, who would have guessed tea? Who would have guessed pressurized tea?
Your dad's standing there with his hands on his hips, like, we're gonna have to call somebody. This could be all the way into the. This is definitely spreading
Into the
throughout the
attic.
house.
This is in the. We're gonna have to replace the underlayment on the roof.
I have one for soda too. Jessica and I. That's my sister, but you guys all know her here. But
from the same mister.
Yeah, and we went to the store, bought a bunch of 2 liters of soda, and we came back, and I had said it. They were in the bags, okay. And I don't know what happened if I don't know who had it, but it ran into the counter, it hit something, and it had just barely popped a hole. Like it was just the slightest. So we were standing there doing stuff, and all you could hear was just like, and I was like, "What's that noise?" And she was like, "I don't know." And then we just kept like doing stuff, and it's the crinkling of the bags you can't hear, and just, and I was like, "I can't find it." And I was looking around, thought the water was on the sink or something. And then I looked down, and just like the bag's filling up, right? And I was like, "Oh no!" And for some reason, Jessica pulls it out of the bag, just takes it out of the bag where it's enclosed. Yeah. She pulls it out, just says,
better
like
get this out of it.
I mean, yeah, it was like a just super hard stream, just everywhere. And it was because it was this tiny little hole. We lost like half the bottle before we realized what was happening.
So there's a podcast I really like right now. It's called Are You Garbage? And it's these guys from Philly. I love them. They're comedians, and they'll have people on, and they basically will just ask them questions about their childhood to determine if they're classy or if they're garbage. And one thing I think we'll all relate on, one of their questions is, as a kid, did you have 2 liters in the fridge?
Yeah.
I feel like we all did.
Yeah.
I think that must be just mid-Missouri classy.
We had some cans. Like my folks would buy the 24 packs of like Mountain Dew and Pepsi and stuff. But yeah, a lot of 2 liters.
Do y'all have 2 liters in the fridge right now?
No, but we don't drink soda anymore, really.
We on very rare occasion will actually have a 2 liter in the house. It's usually like when we get Papa John's or something. And
I would agree with that. Yeah, that's
spicy.
the only time is a pizza order. Oddly enough, just
the pizza order. Yeah, but you can also kick that up a notch. That I had friends growing up that they would buy the 2 liters, but they were actually 3 liters.
Yeah.
And they were the off-brand 3 liters. Do you guys remember seeing these?
Mountain Lightning?
I don't remember
and the
seeing
caps,
those.
the caps are like twice as wide as a regular 2 liter.
Yeah.
And they're ginormous.
Yeah.
And they're like, I think they're 3 liters, but they're half the price.
This is not the same thing at all, but when I was in college and I used to eat out all the time, like a lot, like every meal, and I had like no food, I would go shopping. You know, you go to Walmart, you buy your stuff, and my parents would come to my house, my brother, and I would introduce my fridge as the fluid center. And I'm not kidding, I had like 5 or 6 different options of soda, but I had them all in like the long can thing, so that way it would open up and it would shoot out. So like you could have literally any kind of beverage you wanted, but if you needed, like I would have
did you have the
Capri Suns? I don't think that but I had like Dr. Pepper, Fanta. I had like all the different things.
Don't you wanna
I feel like that's the equivalent for me, feeling wise, of like watching Commando or some other movie, and they would open up the gun chest, and it was like it was just all these awesome things, and you get this tingly feeling of like, oh, we have it all.
But my fluid center also had alcohol as part of the other part of the fluid center.
No, I mean, when you open up a fridge like that, you feel like, oh, this is like we're bawling as a family.
I totally agree. But what's weird is, if I think back on it, I didn't feel that way about 2 liters, but when I went to my friend's house who had like the garage fridge, and yeah, there was probably beer in it too, but they had like 8 different kinds of soda, I was like, oh, they're making that real bread. You know what I mean? They're making that. They're making
I did exactly.
They're making that garlic bread.
Oh, that's for sure.
So, I prepared a few segments, a few things to talk about. I want to start with one. You guys cool to get into it?
Let's do it. I'm in.
So, 2023 isn't over yet, but so we can kind of talk about how to end out the year. But I want to talk about 2024 specifically. Does anybody have you guys put any thoughts at goals, like weight room goals, life goals, anything like that?
Dude, this is good.
As I started this, I'll give you guys a second to kind of think of your own thing. My goal, I'm going to spend out the rest of 2023 getting back to the starting point.
Mm-hmm.
And 2024, I really need to make a big push in the sport of strongman. I need to do something that I need to win something big.
Yeah.
You know, and by the way, I'll be doing that in like November or December of 2024. I realize that's not a 6-week goal.
That's great.
But do you know what's in December of 2024?
Christmas. No. So, but specifically,
it's a big goal.
Yeah.
I gotta really rehab the knees. I gotta come back strong where those are a strength and never just like a forever weakness. So I'm gonna do a lot of focusing on knee health this year. The rest of 2023 and then probably forever. I wanna get over a 375 log this year. I'd like to do something silly on deadlift. I'm not sure what, but those are the two I'm kind of thinking about, a deadlift and a log this year. I'm going to go Amy next because I feel like she thinks the best on the fly.
So lifting wise, I've kind of been not backing off, but I've been so injured. I would love to spend 2024 just getting stronger while not being injured, which would be really cool. I wouldn't mind going back to nationals and giving that another try.
What do you want to improve upon? Like what's
everything,
a focus? Yeah,
everything.
But pick one or two.
I think that what I am or have been good at in the past are things that like overhead press and deadlifting, and now deadlifting causes me so much pain and so much injury that I've started squatting more, and I'm not a great squatter by any means, but I think that there's a direct correlation that if I maybe start squatting more, my sandbag toss might get better.
Sure.
So like there's little things like that where
That's good.
just sticking with like the core and improving. But I feel like a lot of my goals are really more financially motivated, and
nice.
like we kind of exist in this world where it seems like we had this dream and we were waiting for it to happen, and now with the economy we're just patiently waiting,
having to pivot.
Yeah.
So a couple things.
And it's okay.
I don't get to comment on everybody. I'm not going to comment on everybody, but this is as much for the people listening. Some of the biggest, some of the most surprising PRs I've ever hit on deadlift specifically were when I had stopped deadlifting. But because of the sport of strongman is so posterior chain heavy, you'd be surprised what you can maintain or build just doing like sandbags and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like pretty sub-maximal for you. I mean, you even injured, you could walk back there and pull 3 bills. I've always thought that about you. You may not like it, and you may feel pretty sassy the next day.
So here's how I feel about that. I think back to when I first started, and you have videos of me doing my warrior cry, and I have like a tenth of the muscle that I have now, and I
Yeah.
was able to get that up. Right now, do I think I could get it up? Yeah, but I think I'm so worried about tweaking my back or hurting
Right,
myself that's the bigger fear.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're just in a different place now. Yeah, you were moving similar weights with less muscle, but you weren't pressing as much. You weren't, you're a more rounded athlete. I think we all should probably be financially motivated this year. That's a good call.
That is good.
Jimbo, what do you got?
So
Nate, where you at?
I was going to say I have some goals for Jim. If
Oh,
he can't come up with
wow.
any
No,
himself.
No, go for it, Jim. You've got something. You got it?
I would like to get my deadlift over 5. That's been something
Nice.
I've just been working at, because I feel like and maybe it's like I'm already there. I just need to get to the point to where I can, actually do it for a 1 rep max or whatever. But I'd really like that to be, 500 plus, and then I've done some really good movement on my log this year.
Yeah, you hit a couple log PRs recently.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So
Very cool.
235 recently, and I want to continue growing that and improving on that. But I think it's just going to be one of those things like, log was the back burn, or was kind of on the front end there for a while, and hit that. So I'd really like to continue that, and also just work at my squat too, because that's something that also went on a back burner because we've been competing for the last year and a half or so.
Yeah.
When in doubt, a squat is a good goal to build on.
Yeah, for sure.
Stronger
I think
squat
it translates to a lot of different things.
For
so
sure.
Stronger squat can lead to stronger push press and
just stronger person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then I think the other thing is just working towards my CFI, because I'm back into flying now. So I think that would be pretty cool to
That's a
accomplish
super
in
cool
2024.
fact about Jimmy that we'll probably get it, but they'll learn more about us as we go. But Jimmy's a flipping pilot.
And a pirate. So
Yeah.
he has
Yeah.
both.
He's working towards
Man of the air, man of the seas.
He's working towards that as a career, and maybe 24 you'll get some good progress on that.
Yeah, maybe.
Does it-
We can hope.
Does it bum you out to know Amy will never fly with you?
Yeah, that's a
I
Still working on her?
I don't blame her. She's a
Don't do
nervous
that.
flyer.
Don't do that.
And listen,
Nate's flown with me.
Well-
I don't fly well.
I don't think the size of planes that I will be flying will be something that she's comfortable in. Now, if I get up to flying one of those 747s, yeah, I think
He's going to be offended at that point when I'm
No,
I'm
I-
not getting on the plane with you.
I think,
It's an issue of size with her, is what you're saying.
yeah.
So here's really what it is.
What?
I get motion sickness. I get motion sickness in a car. I get motion sickness on boats. I get sick in the air if I don't take Dramamine. I am that
Is
person
this
that if
Dr. Seuss?
Hey, shut up. If I scroll too much looking during the holidays when I'm shopping online, I have to cut it off after an hour, or else I will make myself nauseous and sick.
Yeah.
right.
And so the planes that he flies right now, they're so small, they feel everything.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
for me to that's blowing up my day. Hey, yeah, I want to go up and fly with you, and then I'm gonna feel like dog crap
Yeah.
Yeah.
the whole entire rest of the day.
think it's
I am
probably
happy to support him, but I'm just never gonna.
It's like being
do
on
that.
a rowboat or a cruise ship.
Yeah.
You feel every wave.
Oh,
in the
I went in a
rowboat.
glass bottom boat, and I was the only person that had to go upstairs because they were like, "You look like you're green,"
Yeah.
and I was so sick.
I think they say you don't get nearly as much of that on a cruise ship.
I was sick on the cruise ship
But what
too.
freaks me out is a wave big enough to feel on a cruise ship would freak me out existentially.
yeah.
So cruise ship I've been on, we had 5 to 7 foot waves, which they classified as moderate waves. So you would be walking down the hallway, and the hallway would just tilt
Like Inception?
like an inch or two to the left, and then back an inch or two to the right. And when you're showering, you're in these little itty bitty tiny cylindrical tubes, and you're kind of just slowly swaying back and forth. It's kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
Nate, what do you got on tap for 2024? You got anything on the docket?
Mine are a little different. They're not different. It's just I'm taking it in phases, and I told myself,
Gonna finally graduate high school?
yeah, I got to do that. That's gonna, I've gone back 3 times, and that's not true. None of that's true.
He gave up.
Last year I kind of told myself that the end of this year I was gonna try to phase it out, and I was gonna stick to those phases. And so I'm gonna try to get the most shredded I ever have at the
Dang.
heaviest body weight I've ever been.
That's such a good goal.
And then once I'm there, then I'm planning on 24 to be a big strongman year as well.
So
but I'm planning on
once you get super shredded, you're just going to ruin it.
not super shredded. No, and not even that. I have a much better understanding of like dieting for myself over the last couple years. But then like stuff's been working, and I've been realizing that I need to do things in smaller phases. So I'm gonna cut weight first, and I'm gonna try to do it in. It's gonna take a while because I'm gonna do it in different blocks. But once I do that, then I'm gonna try to gain at a much slower weight as I go into competitions. Gain weight at a much slower pace. I mean, going into competitions, and then in 24, I want to try to be stronger than I've ever been ever, but then also at the at a decent body fat percentage, and I think that I'll perform hopefully better than ever is my hope. But
what would be your ideal, like when you say do some awesome things in strongman? Is it like competing at certain competitions?
Yeah, probably so. It like probably is.
And what would those be?
I don't think I don't know if I don't know that it's ever in the cards for me to do anything freaking like crazy, but I do think one of my first goals is either qualify for OSG or to qualify for nationals again, and then actually go to nationals and get like a top 20 placing.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I think that's realistic for me, maybe.
We all go and try and qualify for OSG next year just to see what happens.
It would be cool to see, a group of IFG members to head to nationals again and just
that'd be really fun.
Clean everyone's clock.
I think
I have a ways to go, just so everybody who's out there in that world understands I'm nowhere near that.
You've already been there. Is your 5th meet ever?
Also, can we, Zach, hit him with her
OSG?
Hit him with her placing. Hit him with her.
I thought we were doing we were talking about nationals.
Oh no, I was saying I'm nowhere near nationals.
Her placing?
Her placing the first time at nationals.
It was like top.
It was 3rd.
It was 3rd.
That's insane.
Yeah,
well, in my weight class, I'm a tiny person.
I know, but still.
What does that matter? I mean, it's
there's more and more people, and now they have a weight class out there that's the sub 125, which is like where I live. So
Amy's the most impressive out of the bunch of us. All right, go for it, Zach. Before she tries to.
They don't have anything. I mean, you're in the smallest weight class, right?
Yeah.
So
pound for pound.
Last thing I'll say about this, because you'll get negative about yourself, and it'll fill me with a white hot rage. But if they had like a 115, it would suck getting you there.
Yeah.
But that would be the equivalent of the people you're competing against.
Right.
The people that walk in at 140 and cut down to 125.
That are 160 and they're cutting down to 140.
Yeah, but he's right.
You'd feel like garbage, but at like 115, nobody wants to see Amy Klickner in the event. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So same with Jimmy. If Jimmy get down to 115,
oh my gosh,
I would be quite small. I would be starving.
Yeah. So. Those are all good goals. I think that's something we need to...
So in a year from now, we'll see where we're at.
Well, what I was going to say is I think we need to set our watch by this or whatever, but we need to check in on those goals for not compliance, but for accountability.
Be great.
I think we probably need to, in the next couple weeks, put it on paper so we can put it on the chalkboard out front, make it public, and then kind of talk about the roadmap to getting there.
Cool. That'd be really cool.
All right, so this segment, a little different. Try it out. We may not use it again if it doesn't hit, but we're just gonna do kind of rapid fire answers. I'm gonna throw out a topic. Everybody goes around the room, give me an answer. We'll go on to the next one. Can't overthink it. If you get the wrong answer, it hits your brain first. Just gotta say it.
Okay.
So the first one, little negative. Next one's gonna be positive. One change you want to see in the world. I'm gonna say I want to pay less in taxes.
Oh, wow, that's
Amy,
good.
you're up. It's always going to go Zach, Amy, Jimmy, Nate.
I instantly don't you do that to me. I instantly went to I think that there's a lot of hate in the world, and I think that there's some things that I see that bring me to tears when I watch videos. I'm and this is not the same thing, but kind of I see animal cruelty videos. I see people being horrible to other people videos, and that would be my.
You want up me. I wanted to make more money, and you were like, I want to be a better place for the world. So no, I'm not playing.
I want people to be better. All
right, Jimmy.
I would say just a more trusting society, because I feel like right now there's a lot of, when you think of conspiracies and stuff like that, there's a lot of mistrust right now in the government of the United States, and I think if we're in a place where we could, trust the decisions being made, then I think we would be all, better quality of life.
I like it. Nate Dogg.
This okay, this can go on a really deep, but I'm not. What's been on my mind a lot is the family unit.
Oh, nice.
And then my own family as well, but making the most out of that and realizing that, like, if there's not that, there's not much.
Sure.
For as a society.
Sure.
That's it.
I like it. We're gonna go favorite or least favorite or both strongman event.
Oh,
I'm gonna go favorite is gonna be log press.
favorite.
I'm gonna go favorite
Okay.
log press.
Okay.
I'm gonna go least favorite. Might be sandbags, like throwing bags.
For mine, do I have to actually have competed in this event, or
No.
I just okay?
No.
So I have a tie for one. One is because I haven't committed. I really like Viking press. There's something about it. I just think that's awesome.
It's a cool looking
but
thing.
I
yeah.
also really love Axle clean and press.
Nice.
That's one of my
Nice.
favorites. Least favorite would definitely be farmers carrying, because afterwards I have like
You're really good at it, though.
I have marks, like bruises from
Yeah.
where my thumbs just
They make you pay.
They do.
where you're
Jimmy, what do you
squeezing
got?
tight.
I have never done this event, but
Doesn't
I think
matter.
the sandbag carry through water would be a really fun event, and I that's a favorite to watch.
Oh, that's maybe a nostalgic thing, like
Yeah,
seeing World's
yeah.
Strongest Man. That's one
like
I've seen in
watching
the
Big
past
Z
and
like
thought they
run
were-
through
that's
water.
cool. Yeah.
I think that's super cool. Least favorite, car deadlift.
Nate Dogg. Car
Um,
deadlift's a good call out. I should have said car deadlift.
My favorite is log. My
It would be.
least favorite. This is tough, but it's a toss up between wagon wheel deadlifts and circus dumbbell.
Yeah, those are tough ones.
Yeah,
so
those
I
two are my
only
least
have
favorite.
one more, and then we're going to hop into the
What
next
can
segment.
I say? One thing, one event that I don't know if any of us
No.
have tried. Yeah, I'm going to say it anyways.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if any of us have tried, but it looks really cool. Hercules hold. I think that looks like so much fun.
I actually did a Hercules hold in a competition as a warm-up, and then the apparatus broke before heavyweights went, so we had to scrap it and do
Oh wow!
a double overhand axle hold.
Wow.
Oh,
It
I think I
was all
remember
thing.
that.
You weren't there.
I know, but I remember
Oh,
you were
it was,
training me and you told me
Was
about
that
it.
Winter Siege?
No, I don't know what they called it. That was it. Winter Siege.
Yeah, it was the winter. The winter. Yeah, because we competed.
that
in,
wasn't the competition that you told me to train for, and I did, and then you went without me and told me that we weren't going, and then you went anyways.
It
Well,
might have been.
he decided not
in,
to
might
do
have
it.
been.
in Dubuque.
Yeah. He
decided-
we trained the whole time, and then you were like, "Yeah, we're gonna go," and then the day before,
Well-
you're like, "I'm not gonna go." So I was like, "Okay."
No,
we're
he
not
decided
gonna go.
not to. I remember he told me, he was like, "I'm not going."
I know, and then he went anyways.
Yeah, it was
No.
crazy.
After
I
he
didn't-
told me,
No.
we weren't going.
I went because we were planning on going, and we had family friends meeting us halfway. They were living in that neck of the woods. It's like an hour and a half drive for them.
That would have been my first competition ever.
And we went there because it was a pretty cool convention center. There was like water park for the kid and everything like that.
Oh, nice.
And then when I got there was only one other person in the weight class, and I kind of did it because if I didn't compete, there was no like national invite or anything, or for the winner of it or whatever. So I walked in there. Luckily I had Chucks and not like crappy shoes, but I didn't bring
You just
anything
walked
to
in there and
train.
did it.
Yeah,
Did you guys end up staying there the whole time?
yeah, like
That's cool.
Like 2-3 days.
That's
It was
cool.
very
That's
cool. All right, the last one I have. This one's a little more off the cuff. We're gonna call this section this segment over under.
Oh.
So tell me something that's overrated. Tell me something that's underrated. For me, amusement parks are extremely overrated. Right now, because we're starting the podcast and I love it, creative outlets. Find something that you can create. Not everybody's a super creative person. I know I'm not that creative of a person, but being able to do something creative, I just feel like it's impacting my life positively already. And
Nice.
I'm still thinking.
Well, this is a
That's
tough
that's
one.
Yeah,
against the
this-
rules. You can only think a little.
All right, I'll go because I'm going to
Oh,
make mine kind
dang.
of whatever. I just thought of this on the way down here, and this actually crossed my mind. I saw a Jeep Gladiator driving on the road next to me. Overrated.
I think so too.
Overrated.
I'm going to do my pet peeve, but I'm going to talk on that.
Okay.
I saw one going down the highway the other day, and it had a big camper shell on it,
Mhm.
and it looked like a giant Jeep.
Yeah.
And they had it like let's say those are $60K. I don't know what they cost. Dude had like another 30 and like the stuff on it.
Right.
It looked sick, but it also just looked like a giant Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What's your underrated?
That one's tough. I haven't had anything major cross my mind right now. Something that's been underrated, and a lot of cars have this now, but I have older cars, so they don't. But something that's been kind of a game changer for me is like a phone stand.
Oh,
in the dashboard.
That's a great one.
If everybody had one, I think that you would realize that it makes things easier. You know, some people have them built in or like they don't, whatever, but I put one in and I have had my phone up in it. It's kind of a game changer.
It's so much better.
Underrated. Yeah.
I think they'll be necessary in the next year or two.
Yep.
Because I think in Missouri you can't hold it anymore while you're driving.
Yep.
Probably.
You're not supposed to be.
Probably, yeah.
You got anything for me, Amy?
I don't.
Jimmy?
I promise I'll bring something next time.
What show are you watching right now? Let's do that.
Oh, we're watching a few different shows.
Give me one. What's the first one that comes to mind?
The one that we just finished was Only Murders in the Building.
Good show?
Oh, yeah.
All right. What's your least favorite food?
What?
How about something I don't like and I think is really, really gross is sour cream.
Okay, that works.
Oh, wow. So sour cream underrated. I love sour cream, see?
I do too.
That's great.
Wasn't it underrated, though? Or
What did I say?
overrated? It's the exact opposite because
my
everybody
bad,
thinks
my
it's
bad.
great.
Right,
And I'm
it'd
like,
be overrated.
it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Jimbo?
Overrated. Seafood. Just
Wow.
any seafood in general.
That's what I like
hurt
about
me.
you. That's
That
what I like
hurt
about
me.
you,
That
Jimmy.
hurt me.
That's what I like about you, Jimmy. You're not opposed to like ostracizing our whole entire following. You just
Do you
really,
have one specific seafood, maybe, just as a whole, category?
I would probably say crab legs are overrated because they're a lot of work for very little.
No,
meat.
see, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that one.
But if you had if my job was to like break these bad boys open and put them on a plate for you, what do you think then?
I still wouldn't eat it.
Okay. Well, you're wrong. Just
Okay. I mean,
anyway, what's your underrated?
Love seafood.
Underrated. I don't know. That's.
Oh dang! I missed one of the topics. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't really have an answer
doesn't
for
have an answer.
underrated right now.
What's something that you use regularly where you're like, this is...
And that surprises me because you like new things.
I don't let him buy new things.
You are a guy who
I
feel like you research things and you're on to something new.
Let me ask you this one, because this is something that you and I both have dived into, and we talked about it before, smartwatches.
Yeah. I mean,
underrated or overrated?
I think it depends on what you get. Because I think, like...
What about what you have? Which one do you have?
I have the Garmin D2. I think it does a really good function. I think it still didn't meet some of the expectations I had for it, but overall, it's a very good watch.
For our listeners at home, what was that watch?
Garmin D2.
If Jimmy were a smartwatch, he'd be a Garmin D2. Because, and I don't, not because of your rating, but because Jimmy's not going to get an Apple Watch or a Samsung watch. He's going to read the internet for 12 days, read some reviews, and he's going to get his own thing.
12 days worth of actual reading, not even the in between of searching for it.
Well,
no sleep.
But also,
it's
watch. How much was that watch? If you don't mind me asking,
I think it was like $400 or something.
Yeah. But you've had that now for a minute.
Yeah, I think I've had it for a couple of years now.
You've had it for at least 2.
Jimmy's the smartwatch of our friend group.
Well,
you know,
no,
I don't know that
He keeps track of a lot of stuff. You know.
So what I wanted to say next,
he disagrees on that. Jimmy's overrated. Jimmy's overrated. Let's just rate Jimmy.
I messed up because I did the change in the world, so I thought that would get a little dark, and then I wanted to do the happy thought. So something that you saw recently that cheered you up. I got this earlier on Instagram, almost brought me to tears, and it's such a weird thing, but it's just hit me in my emotions because it was a little girl. It was sitting on Santa's lap, and she was deaf.
Oh gosh, here we go.
But Santa knew sign language.
Oh yeah.
I can't do this right now.
And her little face lit up, and they were having a little conversation there. And I don't know,
that's fantastic, man.
Yeah. Stuff like that, people being kind to other people. I don't know, especially children, but just people that don't have to.
Really great.
Because the mall Santa is not there for the money. You know what I mean? Right. I'm sure it pays well, for all things considered, but. Yeah. You're there for.
We could dive into mall Santas, dude. I feel like mall Santas get a really bad rap. How many movies are there out there about drunk mall Santas?
Yeah, and I'm sure it's a mixed bag, dude. I'm sure it's
Elf, the beef and cheese guy.
I don't get the reference, but yeah. Anyway,
where he's like, "You're not Santa. You smell like beef and cheese."
you got a good memory. Let's go a la carte here. Anybody can go if they have one.
So the people who create the TikToks that are like, this will restore your faith in humanity, and then as you watch the TikTok, it's multiple different clips of different positive things. Those are always so good, whether it's military homecomings or it's little kids getting to meet their favorite professional athlete.
Right.
I was watching something, and it's not on one of the Restores Your Faith in Humanity, but it was the guards that stand outside of the palace,
Buckingham Palace.
Yes, and how like people will try and take pictures with them, and they're not supposed to move. People will get close to them, people will touch them. People are very disrespectful, and like I think you are allowed to stand next to them and take a picture, but you're supposed to be so many inches away and whatnot. And so there was this kid, and I don't know if he was autistic. I don't know. He was handicapped in some way, and his dad was kind of standing behind him. And he was kind of just scooting him a little bit close, but the dad had him, I would say, at least 6 inches away, maybe even more. And so you see this guard standing there, and the dad is like saying, "Okay, now smile." And he's like behind the kid. And this kid is at least 12 or 13. And the father doesn't want his son to get too close because he doesn't want to startle it. It's just about the moment.
Right.
And the Buckingham Palace guard, takes a step closer to the kid.
Nice.
And
Oh,
it's
that's
like
awesome.
in that moment you're like that, and like the dad realized it, and it was like just so cool
Yeah,
to
it's
see
gonna
that
mean
like
a lot to that little
like
kid.
that person he's not recognizing all that stuff, but it was so cool to see that.
Really cool.
I
I
sent
think-
it to Jimmy, and I was like, this.
On that topic, though, my brain goes two ways because I'm fighting being this super cynical person who I'm afraid I'm becoming. But my first thought is like, I don't like that because those are people trying to like essentially get eyeballs, like it's like almost manipulative. I'm going to show you this thing, but then I think about it and I'm like, that's actually like a really important thing because all these algorithms work off of negativity. So this algorithm hopefully works off of the opposite.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's awesome. So shame on me.
It's really good. Jimbo.
Again,
You don't have anything?
No, I think it's, watching videos where just people are just doing, kindness out, like they're putting kindness out into the world, whether it's like you had said, like a military homecoming or like the Buckingham Palace thing. Like those are really refreshing to watch because you realize that people are people, and
I send him his positive things. Let me just say his TikTok feed is filled with like police and like violence.
Degeneracy.
And
I'd love
it really is. Like I'll be in the bathroom like getting ready, and I can hear, I'm like, what is that, another TikTok? And it's like somebody like screaming, and then a cop yelling back
He's
and
like,
forth.
this is a crazy McDonald's fight
Yeah.
at like 2 a.m. I love that stuff too.
Jimmy's got a
one
lot
of-
of violence on
I
his
love
TikTok.
it. One of the ones, my mind immediately goes to like a couple things that happened with my kids, but the one that I saw as far as for like, I'm going to stay on the same chain you guys are on. I saw one with Shaq. And
Yeah,
Shaq
seen that
was,
one.
did you see it? Shaq was standing somewhere. It just was randomly in my reels, and I don't see stuff like that often because mine's mainly like lifting stuff and whatever else. But Shaq was standing there, and this little kid runs up to Shaq and hugs his leg, and then security starts pulling him off, and the dad's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And there might have been a language barrier there, but he was like, "I'm so sorry," and then like the guards are pulling him off, and Shaq stops the guards and the dad,
Yeah.
and then pulls the kid back over to him, and then like hugs him, and then pulls him in for a picture.
Yeah.
And like it was like they were, they immediately assume like he doesn't want anything to do with this kid taken away from his day, right? But he like stopped everything and then pulled the kid in, and I was like, that's gonna,
Yeah.
Shaq is the man for real.
That's
the more
dope.
I see on him. I mean, I think the reason I wanted to call this out is like, this is gonna get negative before we end it, but I don't mean it to be negative. We're so divided right now. There's only two sides to everything these days. There's no in between. There's no moderate. There's no central.
Yeah.
It's extreme this way or extreme that way.
Yeah.
And even if that isn't the truth, that is the truth they're trying to peddle.
Yeah, for sure.
So even if that, go meet people with differing opinions, you're probably not that different, but to hear the internet tell it, you're oil and water.
Yeah.
So it's so nice to see people like everyone we just mentioned. We don't know their political leanings.
Yeah.
We don't know their religious leanings. We just know that like there was humanity there,
Yeah.
and that's awesome.
Very
anyway,
All right,
Okay.
well, you guys know what's coming up next. We have the taste test. And today we're actually doing a combo because Jimmy and Amy hate me, and they wanted to double up the spicy. We're starting off with baconettes,
fried pork skins.
Hot and spicy.
Yeah, and they're spicy. All right, we got
It's a Steelville delicacy.
Oh yeah,
$2.69 a bag for chicharrones. Is how you say that. And the baconettes, I've never even heard of that brand. We're going first.
That was the name of our synchronized swimming.
You guys want to go one at a time, or are we just diving into this all together?
I don't know.
1, 2, 3, go.
1, 2, 3, go. All right. Oh my gosh. Please don't make me die. Please don't be spicy.
I'm not mad at the initial. The crunch was really nice. It was basically like air. It tastes a lot like a Funyun on the front end, like the consistency, I mean.
It's in my nose.
I'm waiting for it to hit me. Please. Is it going to go away?
That's not spicy at all.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go
Yes,
that
it
far.
is.
I mean, I'm pretty sure these are just fried fat.
Okay, this has got a little kick to it.
Okay. But you know what? Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was waiting for it to keep going and then to really kick in at the end.
See, Nate, there's no reason to be scared of spice.
Okay,
You
I
really
just-
just need to embrace it.
I took a
You're
drink
right.
and it's still going. Like, it's still
So
hot.
I have some of that. I have some sting on the tongue.
Can
Okay.
I
It's
tell you
still
guys
stinging.
why Nate doesn't like spice?
Why?
I've never cleared this with him, but I've determined it. Nate was the type of kid, and by kid I mean until he was 17, that passed his plate to the end of the table to his mom for her to cut up his steak.
That's
and
not
when
true
he
at
was
all.
hold on,
Yep.
don't
I'm not going to ruin your bit. Keep going.
okay, and he did that till he was at least 17.
Right.
Maybe honestly, maybe even the rehearsal dinner of your wedding. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And I think when he was a kid, he had a little trouble with spice, and then
Right.
his mom just was always in his ear about like,
Right.
you know, my little Nino.
Right.
And I'm not.
Right.
That's not an accent.
You got the Nino right.
Right?
Right.
I pay attention.
No, that's not at all it. But I
Am I
will say
close?
that if it wasn't for, like, Zach has done this to me once before too, and if it wasn't for you guys, I probably wouldn't try that far. But every time I do try something,
It's not
and
bad.
I'm ready for it to be, I'm expecting the worst. I'm always like, okay, it's spicy, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going
Well,
to be.
plus, you know, stuff like that. I mean, you can eat it on its own, but also if you had a small handful next to your sandwich,
Yeah.
that's a whole different experience because you're not just.
I like the texture. I like that crunch, and then it kind of just disappears. You know, it kind of dissolves.
It also has like a nice like bacon flavor to it.
Nice.
The one thing I like about it too is that it also like the macros on it aren't bad. So for 70 calories per serving, it's only 7 grams of protein. So it's not bad.
Oh, I didn't realize it had protein in it at all.
It's like
yeah,
eating air.
it's fried pork.
So in terms of a chip, like in that category, you know what? I'm going to say gas station snack is the category I'm ranking this for.
Okay.
This is a
Yeah.
this is a 6.8, 7.1 for me. That's a solid score. It's not the very first thing I'm grabbing.
I'd rather
but-
have a combos pretzel and cheddar.
For sure.
Oh.
I mean but that's not on the table right now. I'm saying if we're in a if we're on a ride, and Jimmy's definitely buying those because Jimmy's trash.
Absolutely. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 for Jimmy. I'm like, hey Jim, let me get 2 of those, and then I'm probably good.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to my combos or whatever I'm doing.
I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10, only because at some point or another I get an initial taste of whatever it is, and then boom, spicy. That's all I taste. So I would definitely pick something else,
Has a
almost
decent-
anything else.
I think the taste is in the aftertaste. I feel like I taste it now.
I don't. Yeah, all I got spicy still.
So
Really?
would you like it though if it was like a barbecue flavored?
Oh, I would eat the whole bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
See,
wanna-
that's what I'm saying. If it wasn't spicy and it was just bacon flavored pork
Mhm.
rinds, I
Like
don't
maybe
know. I
salt and
wouldn't pick
pepper.
that either, but I would eat more of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be, yeah. Amy.
Like a 6, maybe.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
good
never
call.
going to be my choice.
Jimmy gives it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Oh, I love
like-
it. I love it.
They're so.
It is the standard for Jimmy.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
It's
Well,
good.
very good. So
All right.
now we're drinking Death Water.
Part
was it?
part
Yeah.
two. Part two. Jimmy hit him with what we got there.
Part 2 is we are doing a buzzball cocktail.
Oh, this is alcohol.
Yes.
Zach just closes his eyes.
Buzzball cocktail. It's a chili mango flavored. It's a concoction of vodka and tequila with
Oh,
natural
God.
flavors.
It looks like a tennis ball. Like it's almost the size and shape of a tennis ball. It just has the little can top it.
I would assume that these are like the newer thing now that people just get and they just down them.
Let's get a ton of buzz balls and
What's the percent alcohol?
That's what I'm looking for here. You had to shake it well before.
It's probably going to be
So
gnarly.
what annoys me about this, and I will always
15.
Wow. So there's a shot or two in there is what that is.
Yeah.
Amy's going to be blasted after this one little shot.
Oh, I'm not drinking this whole thing, but I will always try the thing for taste test, but I don't need to try this to rank this. I'm just going to tell you guys right now.
What if you love it, dude? What if it's like a
You guys ready for this, or are we going to
All right, let's do it. All right, let's do it. I'm ready.
Okay,
3, 2,
let's
1,
go.
go.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh gosh,
I'm totally good on that.
it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like really strong. It's not.
Here's the problem I have with it. I had the same problem with Mom Water. You're not going to get a fair shake from me unless it's ice cold.
Oh, okay.
We bought it
Makes
ice
sense.
cold. It's just been sitting out.
And
for a
that's
minute.
fine. That wasn't critical on you guys. I'm just saying, like, those things. It's the same with beer. I love beer. You hand me a warm beer, and it's like, this is just okay.
Let's place this
Are we ready?
in random gas station alcohol oddities.
8? I don't even like.
Because
I didn't like it, but
because I don't think it should go in. I don't think it should go in like the name brand classics that are going to end up at places. You know, this definitely
We found
seems
it
like
at Casey's.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So I think this would be up there with like the shooters, like the little like single shot alcohol.
4.7.
Oh, he hates it.
It's very alcohol tasting. It's a weird. I love mangoes. But
I
then
mean,
you put a
I'm
chili
burning
with
right
it.
now, and I don't know if it's from the pork rinds or this, but
No,
I didn't
that-
even drink the whole.
Yeah.
And I've got a nice burn going all the way down my
I'm
stomach.
just not really an alcohol guy in general. You know, like if I'm going to be drinking alcohol, it's like Jack and Coke. You know, I mean, I'm not a real exotic drink guy. So
Yeah, me either.
4.2. What'd I say? 4.2.
Yeah.
4.7.
Yeah.
4.7. 4.7 is how fast I
Jimmy,
went to 40,
Jimmy, what do
so-
you got for it?
I did not like that. I thought I was, but I
Did you see his face right after? He was wincing. Is that the right word?
chili and mango I think is a great flavor, but I think it was thick and I didn't really taste a whole lot of the chili or the mango. I think it was just like
It did
this
have a
thick
thicker
juice.
consistency.
Here's
than
what
I thought
I
it was gonna
here's
be.
So
how
I'm gonna say like a 3.
I would view this maybe. Okay, I'm viewing this as like if this were a really really cheap drink because I don't know how much we paid for it. If you are a young kid.
$3.99.
And you were looking for something that's you can chug whatever and is going to get you drunk, and it's a small amount. I would say that you're right on line with this.
And by the way, me and Amy are old enough that young kid means 23.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're of the age to drink.
yeah.
Or not.
I mean, it would be in the 4s, maybe a little bit of the higher 4s. It wasn't like the worst thing I've ever
See-
had. Like if you said drink the rest of it,
Yeah.
I would absolutely.
I
It's
don't
not that
think-
bad for me.
I don't think you go gas station liquor as the category. I think it's like there's 3 coolers at a house party, and you're trying each of them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's.
Would
not,
you rather drink one of these or Smirnoff Ice?
I've never. I think
Smirnoff Ice.
Smirnoff
for sure.
Don't they taste like
Super
candy?
sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're super sweet. There's like very slight alcohol. You know, like you can like Smirnoff is sort of the ones like what Amy was talking about last time, which is they're dangerous.
Yeah,
It's like a wine cooler.
I just
Yeah.
don't drink, so probably the Smirnoff. I'm gonna have beer if I'm gonna have anything.
I'm with you. I'm going to give this like a 4.5. I'm going like 4.5 on this.
Okay.
I like that they tried, so I'm giving them points for trying. I like mango.
So that everybody can know, it's also like in this little ball.
Yeah, it's kind of the
It's
packaging's kind of
quirky.
interesting. Yeah,
Quirky.
it's quirky.
It's
Yeah.
about the size of a baseball, if that.
You want to cut and go again, or are we still in it?
Yeah, we can keep rolling.
All right, so doing another rapid fire. These ones are just way off the rails here. They're not related at all. First one, we're gonna go. Are you for it? And then what would you get? And we're gonna go tattoos.
Oh,
I love tattoos. I have a tough time of knowing what I want to get, so there's part of me that just wants to go and get a sleeve of just kind of some randomness.
Same.
A little bit of family, a little bit of, little like religious part. I don't know. I just kind of want a sleeve like real bad.
Be sweet. Jimmy.
I think a sleeve would also be great. I think my time spent going down to like debating whether or not to get a tattoo is like I've went through and designed sleeves or have an idea of what my sleeve would be, and I think sleeves need to be some, and maybe not sleeves, but just tattoos in general need to have meaning or like some way to attach it to your life in some way, and that's where yeah.
Nice.
So I want to. So we're only halfway through. So you answer this. I want to add this in. Also, sorry, just hit my face with this mic. Are you for tattoos on hands, neck, face, anywhere like super crazy?
I think face tattoo. I think there's a time and place for everything, but I think face tattoos are hard to place. I think they only work out if you're in a, the public limelight, like, Post Malone, like, it works for him. That's kind of his brand. But
Gotcha.
if you are getting a face tattoo expecting to be a doctor, I don't think that's a place for a face tattoo.
Okay.
Fair.
Amy?
I mean, I would love to have another tattoo or a sleeve or anything. My parents are strongly against it, and I'm almost 40 and feel like I still have to ask permission. So I will probably never get another tattoo, but I've definitely gone down the rabbit hole. I would love to have some type of like mandala, like giant tiger or big cat. As far as placement, I've seen some people have them on the front of like where their shin is, like down, like not just a little one, like a big one that kind of covers the front of their shin.
I like that.
Or the back of their calf. If we're
really
talking
cool
about
placement.
would that hurt like a son of a biscuit? Probably.
Yeah.
But I think that looks cool.
I agree.
Do you want to know my opinion about face
Sure.
tattoos? Kind of similar to Jimmy.
Yeah.
I also would love to know the statistics about how many people get face tattoos and then like have them laserly removed, or do they have regret? Like, is there any regret?
I've heard people say, and I think this is anecdotal, but they're like people who would know data on this if there was, that it's like just a super high indication of anxiety, depression. Like people get them for a reason. I don't know if that's true or not, but so it makes me wonder with stuff like that if there's like a low incidence of them removing it because there's like a, I don't know. I think there's a scenario where I would get something like pretty high up on my neck.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I can make the, because it almost, like, weirdly, it almost just changes the way you look. Like, obviously it does because it's a tattoo, right? But you put it on your face and it's like you have a different face now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably does actually kind of change that.
What would you
like
put
the
on your
way-
neck?
Hot dog, probably. I wanted to say, to your point about it needs to tie into your life, I had a roommate in college. She kind of taught me this, so I have less stress about it being the perfect tattoo because she got a flower that represented a time in her life. So it's just representative of a thing that meant something to her. So I don't know, man. I mean, preferably it would be both. It would be something that really meaningful to you that you tied to a point, but
Yeah.
it's just expression and it's just kind of for you. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Nate Dogg.
I will definitely get tattoos. I will get. It's just a matter of time.
It's a matter of money.
It's a matter of time and money.
So if you could, if somebody gave you all the money tomorrow, what would it be if you had to just give like tomorrow it's on the table and we'll pay for everything? Where would it be and what would it be?
So it would be a toss up between full sleeve or forearms.
Yeah.
It would, or maybe just one forearm or whatever. But I'd either go between forearms or like full sleeve on one side. And what they would be could be. There's a lot of different things I want to get. There's like a bunch of quotes I would like to get.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of. I'd like to do like the gym shield.
Let's go tomorrow for that one.
I would like to get the gym shield and some other stuff like that. But I also am really into. I also like the different animal ones. Like the one that I have now is like a grizzly bear on my right arm. But like stuff like that. I like that whole vibe. I like the ones where there's like if they were a T-shirt, they'd be real white trash. It's like the wolves and moons and like certain
Affliction.
kinds of trees and
Oh.
gosh, and like mountains and that kind of stuff. But probably forearms, yeah. And I'm the same way with you guys. Like if I see somebody, it's kind of weird, but I think if you see somebody with a face tattoo and they get out of a Bentley, it's like, who's this person?
Yeah.
But if you see,
You get them off if they get off the bus.
yeah, and they got a face tattoo, I'm like, huh,
Better stay away from them.
And we're like,
How
man,
much
they've had
time
a
did
rough
you do?
day. Yeah, rough. It must have been a rough time.
One thing that I would love to get, but I could never because I don't want it to be like cultural appropriation or anything, but I had friends and roommates in college who were Polynesian and they got those like the little hammer and the old school. Have you
Yeah.
ever seen those?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They would hurt like crazy, but there's part of me that
Those
would. But again, that's not my culture. I can't just like
Yeah.
Hey, I'm part of you guys. Like, I'm one of you.
Sure.
All right, that was a little less rapid fire than I wanted to be, but that was good. All right, let's make this one a little more rapid fire because this one's easier. So, snap your fingers. You have it. You don't have to go through schooling. You don't have to go through any training or whatever. You just know it and you're there. You can change professions right now in life. What would you be and why? Total lane change as best you can. Jimmy can't say pilot.
Yes.
But see, that's
No,
what I'm going
but
through.
you can't though.
So this is like the dream job. If you could do anything, like if you had followed every single dreamer, what you think is a really cool job today?
Yes and no.
What you would want to do?
Yes and no. Answer it however you want. There's no rules. But mine is going to be like just straight up like cowboy farmer. Like have my own thing, do my own thing, live a simpler life. I don't know if I would even like that if I was actually doing it, like actually going through it. But right now in my mind, it's like that might be a cool life.
I don't want everybody to think that I like have a desire like these two responses are. I realize that there are flaws in both of these
Sure.
these jobs or these
but to be fair,
areas.
I'm
you're
really
not-
interested in what you're going to
But
say
to be
right
fair,
now.
you didn't choose that for your
I
life.
didn't choose
so
it, but I there's something that draws me every time like it comes up in a movie or like there's just something about it. I think it would be really cool to be like either in the FBI or the CIA.
Oh.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
if I could have like been a clandestine agent, like I don't know, there would have been something that would
She
have
would
been
be really good at it.
Sometimes you got to
I
crawl.
like that you said that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sometimes you
brownie
gotta,
points.
Sometimes you got to crawl further into the belly of the beast just to bring it down. You know what I mean? So
I think that's
you'd be-
great. I like. There's some very like, you know, that like noir music. And Amy's like,
You know the problem with that career choice? They don't
You
make
have
it.
you don't have any family.
They don't. No. It's worse than that for you.
Oh.
They don't make a pantsuit your size. Like you couldn't dress like an FBI agent. You're so tiny, and nobody dress. I'm just playing.
it'd be like, and she's like, it was a dark night, and I was at the end of my rope, and you know what I'm talking about. And they're in like a small corner.
I know what
lowly
you're talking
lit.
about.
Why is she in a speakeasy?
Yeah.
What? They always do the
I mean,
like. They always do like
I
the
picture-
saxophone music.
I pictured her in like a diner, just like going through her
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah.
As an FBI agent?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think you know what the FBI does.
I think I do.
Jimmy, you're up. Anything but pilot.
I would be a
I
carpenter.
think I do.
Carpenter's a cool one.
That's
Yeah, I
that's
think-
a good one, Jimmy.
I think it would be simple. I think that it takes a lot of time, and you know that was one thing that I had. You know, whenever you're in high school, you go through and,
Wood shop.
or I guess in Steelville, whenever you were there, you always went into, you know, are you going to go through the traditional route and take like the college level courses, or are you going to go to RTI,
Right.
which is like a technical school that teaches you all of these other like hands-on blue collar jobs.
This is less rapid fire.
I
than
have
wanted.
two. We can end out on this one. I have two, but I don't know which one I would choose. But one of them, the one that I think I would choose that would be most applicable to my life now would be, like, visual, audio, like sound engineer,
That'd be
where
sick.
I could, you know, make graphics from you know nothing,
I've
and
got
I
a
have
third one now.
that would be very applicable for everything that I do now, because it's usually the part where I'm like, all right, well, gonna have to outsource for a lot of this stuff.
Right.
I would do that kind of thing, and like, because I do know my way around for somebody that's self-taught, but to be like an actual like engineer where it's like I'm gonna spend a lot of money on this program and I
Yeah.
can do crazy stuff with it would be
Sure.
amazing. The other one would be blacksmithing.
Blacksmith is sick. The last two I have on the list, these will go quicker. This one's real broad, so narrow it down quick. I have like a Saturday morning or summer routine or a memory or something like that of childhood. Something that screams time at home. You know what I mean? Like the thing you did. So for me, it's like a serving bowl of Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
Tidy Whities. Middle of my living room floor. Cartoons.
Amazing.
Nobody's awake for hours. I'm just
amazing.
free run of the living room remote.
Amazing.
Anything coming to mind? It doesn't have to be like child either. It could be like high school or something.
When I was a kid, my dad was a coach, and then my mom, obviously, she taught art. So I spent every single Saturday doing one of two things: either going to an art or a crafts fair, or I sat and watched people at cross country and track meets. and like that were way older than me competing because like that's just where
Is that why your house is filled with your own art of runners? Like you do nothing but paint runners?
What do you mean?
I was making a joke, like those two things combined.
I didn't get that.
She was gonna say it wasn't really funny.
It wasn't really funny.
It's okay. Good shooters keep shooting, Amy.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Wait,
but you like those things? Like that's like good memories for you?
I did not like. Oh, I hated like going to arts and crafts stuff with my mom when I was younger. Now I'm like, let's go antiquing, and I drag Jimmy along.
Right. Yeah.
Antiquing is great.
Isn't that crazy that he likes that?
Yeah, you know.
I did not have that feeling.
You turned him to the dark side. You turned him to the dark side, Jimmy.
Sweet boy.
It would always be like coming home, throwing off my backpack, and then firing up the Xbox and just like playing whatever game, like mostly Skyrim.
Dude.
Yeah.
But that's what I would do after school.
Dude, that was mine.
That's a good one.
That's mine. I couldn't wait. I
thought you were homeschooled.
Well, I was until high school, so
I couldn't
you guys can
wait to go from the kitchen to the living room.
I couldn't wait to get downstairs. No,
you know, something people don't know about Nate. Yeah, I mean, we joke, but he had a tough, like, kid was bullied hard.
Yeah, it was bad.
I mean, everybody in the house was just.
If it wasn't my mom, it was one of my sisters.
Yeah,
just never ending.
Yeah.
No, but I would get home from school, and it was like all the boys were getting on Halo.
Yeah.
And I would stop by the store and I'd pick up my drinks and my snacks to game. And I would get there, and it was my dad's office because he had like insanely fast internet there.
Yeah.
Get home, fire up the Xbox, and Halo 3 was waiting. Halo 2 was waiting.
Till 3 in the morning.
Till 3 in the morning with the boys, and it was like I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for it. Amazing memories.
You and the lads.
Sorry.
All right, last one I have here. This one will go really quick, hopefully. Childhood crush, and we're going celebrity. We're not going like person.
This could really divide Amy and Jimmy. You know,
it's not.
Like like are we talking like pre-junior high or like in high school?
Topanga Lawrence.
Hermione Granger.
I have mine immediately.
Which is
you guys are going
Emma
to laugh.
Watson.
I would say like Jonathan Taylor Thomas in elementary school.
Good call.
I think this is her name, but if I get the name totally wrong, I'm sorry. But Daisy Fuentes.
Yeah, I had a poster of her.
She hosted
America's Funniest
Home Videos. I was infatuated. We'd watch Funniest, like all the family would get together to watch the show, and I'd be like, yeah, the videos are hilarious in between about animals and cats and stuff, and I'd be like, come on, Daisy, where are you? And then she'd come out and I'd be like, there she is. Beautiful. Yeah, that was one of my first crushes.
Did she marry Mario Lopez?
I feel like
she
maybe
did.
But I wish I wish I would have known she was in the Hispanics, because I could have been that guy.
Really, half Hispanic.
Just look at him.
That's rude. Okay,
just make him pay.
She
for that
wouldn't
one.
know that.
All right. Well, that's all that I had on those.
This has been
she's
an
from
absolute
Cuba.
blast. She's from Cuba.
She's from Cuba.
Cuba.
Oh, my bad.
I don't think you can say it like that.
Cuba.
Unless you're like.
She has a game out there that you can play, Nate.
What's it called?
Daisy Fuentes Pilates. Wii Fitness.
Okay, that's.
Oh, it's on the Wii.
Okay, well that's not going to work for me.
Well, we have a Wii, and you can come over to our house and
hey, can I come over and play your guys' Wii?
Sure, Nate.
What's funny is you guys got home from school and played Xbox and whatever, and we would at Todd's house. I'd wait for the bus at Todd's house.
Nice.
And we would play Super Nintendo and Sega.
Nice.
Back in the day.
Well, but was that before high school?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I played Super Nintendo.
Ours would have been like
yeah.
Ours would have been a little later.
It was just that I was before you, and then I like stopped liking video games way before you, so that it was like this. It's this weird.
So when I was a little kid, it was playing Nintendo.
Yeah,
I played the Super Nintendo.
We had like NES, like the first like I think all we had was like Mario and Duck Hunter though.
Mm-hmm.
I played all the original
back in the day.
I love Duck Hunter, and not that this is the same thing, but Buck Hunter at the arcade.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Favorite.
They have that at my job. Well, my old.
No way, me too.
Building. Yeah, we played video games. We played video games back in the day when you had to like look in a catalog.
Nice.
And then you sent for it. And
do you remember the Sears catalog? That would come
Sears and Roebuck, baby. I don't think it was Sears and Roebuck when I was alive, but I think that's what it used to be.
You're alive right now.
Right, but I don't think it was. I think it was.
You mean prior to you?
Yeah, before I was alive.
Okay.
Dude, that's how English works. I said that right.
It's been a blast, guys. We thank you for joining us and listening. Again, please go and subscribe. Leave us comments. Let us know. You can message us on social media. We have an email, ironfortressmedia@gmail.com. You can shoot us questions and comments and cool topics and whatever there as well. All right, everybody. Take care.
Stay safe out there.
See you
for
next
hanging.
time.
Bye.
Adios.